Glue pizza and eat rocks. Google AI search errors go viral, and Google scrambles to manually remove weird AI answers in search, as 17 cringe-worthy Google AI answers demonstrate the problem with training on the entire web.
Vivek Ramaswamy repeatedly gets booed by libertarians for mentioning Trump, and Trump, accustomed to friendly crowds, confronts repeated booing during Libertarian convention speech. In White House state dinner, Obama and other stars woo Kenya's Ruto.
Bloomberg commentary says, in the U.S., the Supreme Court doesn't agree on what racism is. Kyle Rittenhouse tells Native Americans they can leave if they hate America. In the U.S., Democrats demand Alito recuse himself from Trump, January 6th cases, citing impartiality concerns over flag scandal. Justice Sotomayor admits she cries in her office after Supreme Court decisions. China slammed in G7 show of unity, threatening trade escalation. China firms seek dumping probe for EU pork, Global Times says. China threatens tariffs up to 25% on imports in retaliation for EU probe. U.S. tariffs on EVs and Chinese EV makers continue aggressive push into Europe under growing threat of tariffs.
Study shows that COVID-related private funding had little effect in 2020 presidential election. Voting machine firm Smartmatic alleges Newsmax has deleted evidence in lawsuit over false vote rigging claims. Half, 52%, of Canadians believe foreign governments have significantly interfered in Canadian elections.
The Moscow Times comments as, Russia unilaterally decides to redraw maritime borders with Lithuania and Finland in the Baltic Sea. Russia likely behind fire that destroyed Warsaw Shopping Center, says Tusk. Tucker Carlson team says reports of Russian TV show are pure nonsense. Pentagon says none of the aid unloaded from U.S. pier off coast of Gaza has been delivered to broader Palestinian population, and more than 569 tons of aid delivered across floating pier into Gaza, says U.S. CENTCOM. UN Food Agency warns that the new U.S. sea route for Gaza aid may fail unless conditions improve.
Ireland and Spain say they are recognizing a Palestinian state in a historic move, and Israeli ambassadors recalled from Norway, Ireland due to recognition of Palestine.
In the UK, former Attorney General Dominic Grieve fears Murdoch Company may have hacked his phone. Trump campaign starts taking cryptocurrency donations, vows to build a crypto army, and Democrats propose ban on officials receiving payments from foreign governments after Trump probe.
Trump opts not to take witness stand in hush money case as testimony ends.
Trump prosecutor Fani Willis wins Democratic primary in Fulton County DA race. In the U.S., Representative Jasmine Crockett files to trademark bleach blonde bad-built butch body after clash with Marjorie Taylor Greene. Trump's attorneys found classified docs in his bedroom months after raid.
Begins tactical nuclear weapon drills near Ukraine border.
China condemns Blinken over Taiwan, sanctions former U.S. lawmaker. ASML and TSMC can disable chip machines if China invades Taiwan, as TSMC's UV machines are equipped with a remote self-destruct in case of an invasion. In the UK, Matthew Trickett, former Royal Marine accused of spying for Hong Kong intelligence service found dead in park, and death of former UK Marine Matthew Trickett charged with spying for Hong Kong sends shockwaves through city. Officials refuse to comment on speculation.
Yellen warns German banks to boost compliance with U.S. sanctions on Russia. Lithuania to raise taxes to cover higher defense expenditures, and Lithuanian border guards to be equipped with heavy weapons, announces minister. EU approves plan to use profits from frozen Russian assets. Finland airs bill to stop Russia's use of migrants as weapon.
Singapore says Taiwan one of most dangerous flashpoints in Beijing's rivalry with US. China starts punishment military drills around Taiwan days after island swears in new leader. Anwar says Malaysia doesn't have Chinophobia policy, hopes Washington and Beijing resolve their differences.
Israel to restart Gaza talks after hostage video sparks outrage. Israel warns of serious consequences for ties with countries recognizing Palestinian state. Iran's Khamenei tells visiting Hamas chief that Israel will one day be eliminated.
In Spain, the Supreme Court confirms the expulsion of the first civil guard convicted of spreading racist hoaxes. Europe anxious over potential Trump return. Kosovo PM admits, false and extremely dangerous. In the U.S. Attorney General Garland hits Trump, saying Department of Justice had authorization to kill him during Mar-a-Lago raid.
In UK elections, Rishi Sunak and Keir Starmer hit campaign trail as race for 10, Downing Street begins. In the UK, Number 10 refuses to honour Sunak's £1,000 Rwanda flights bet with Piers Morgan, and Sunak says no Rwanda deportation flights before election as campaigns begin. 3 months ago, Rishi Sunak accused of new low after betting £1,000 on Rwanda deportation flights, and Rishi Sunak says was taken totally by surprise when Piers Morgan offered him bet on small boats. Political consultant behind fake Biden robocalls faces $6 million fine and criminal charges. Top Biden campaign official held Zoom call with Haley supporters hours after she endorsed Trump. 1 day ago, Haley says she will vote for Trump, calls Biden a catastrophe. Cruz refuses to say whether he will unconditionally accept results of 2024 election. Estonia says Russia removed navigation buoys on border river. Russia is waging a shadow war on the West that needs a collective response, Estonian leader says, and 3 months ago it has been reported that Russian special services behind attack on Estonian minister's car. Reportedly, Europe's new political consensus: we need to make more weapons. U.S. names Kenya major ally as Russian influence grows in Africa, and Kenya snags $3.6 billion highway deal in president's U.S. tour. As Kenya's Ruto, U.S. President Biden announced new investments to boost ties. U.S. expected to designate Kenya as major non-NATO ally, source says, as Biden pledges to designate Kenya as non-NATO ally during Ruto visit. Reportedly, 3 CIA operatives among 50 arrested in a failed coup in Congo. Putin signs decree to allow retaliatory seizure of U.S. assets in Russia. China condemns UK claims it's giving Russia combat gear, and U.S. pushes back on British claim that China's sending lethal aid to Russia. Poland undecided on engaging air defenses against Russian missiles in Ukraine airspace. Malaysia resort owner under fire for allegedly allowing wild swimsuit party. 12-year-old girl develops hole in stomach after eating nitrogen pawn at wedding reception in Bengaluru. Swiss court bans racist Mexican food brand Bimbo.
Russia jails hypersonic missile scientist for 14 years for treason. Russian general who criticized equipment shortages in Ukraine is arrested on bribery charges. In the UK, police chiefs told to arrest fewer people to save space in overcrowded prisons.
Former Boilermakers Union Chief of Staff pleads guilty to racketeering conspiracy. Texas Health Department appoints anti-abortion OBGYN to Maternal Mortality Committee. Justice Department and Department of Labor secure agreements with tech company Arthur Grant to resolve discriminatory, whites-only job posting. Takeo Kobayashi, 6 times Nathan's hot dog champ, retires from competitive eating over health concerns. Bear meat kebabs at a family reunion lead to rare outbreak of roundworm disease. Nearly 80% of Americans now consider fast food a luxury, due to high prices. International Court of Justice orders Israel to stop military operation in Rafah, Israel unlikely to comply. Israel's actions are incompatible with international law, says Germany's Habeck. Israeli officials announced, ICJ ruling gives leeway to continue Rafah offensive. Shots fired toward Jewish girls' school in Toronto, no injuries. University of Toronto tells pro-Palestinian protesters to leave campus park. Jewish festival concert cancelled in Krakow over security fears linked to Middle East situation.
Zelensky accuses Putin of being madman following airstrike on Kharkiv hypermarket, and Zelensky on Putin. We have most inadequate enemy in 100 years. Stoltenberg calls on NATO countries to lift restrictions on Ukraine's strikes on military targets in Russia. Slovakia intends to procure more than 100 main battle tanks. In New Caledonia, riots, inequalities, lack of indigenous voice expose failures of French democratic system. In the UK, visa curbs threaten to close universities, Cameron warns Sunak. In the U.S., Justice Department files lawsuit against the state of Oklahoma regarding unconstitutional state immigration law.
U.S. says it was unable to provide Iran assistance after helicopter crash, and France 24 comments as no proof that Israel or India are behind Ebrahim Raisi's fatal helicopter crash. Israel to return seized Associated Press camera, reverse block on Gaza live feed. Deutsche Welle reports that torturers deployed as UN peacekeepers.
Germany's Jenny Erpenbeck wins International Booker Prize for Karis, The Tale of a Tangled Love Affair. 2 words explain China export surge as Global South. U.S. seeks to join forces with Europe to combat excess Chinese goods, and Janet Yellen says G7 to discuss Chinese overproduction that significantly exceeds global demand at FM meeting in Italy. U.S. federal budget crosses grim milestone as interest payments overtake defense spending.
BMW Skytop concept makes early debut in leaked official video. Toyota hints at a GR Corolla with an automatic transmission. Senate report finds parts made with China's forced labor in cars by BMW, Jaguar Land Rover, and VW.
Hyundai eyes first hydrogen supercar by 2026. Lamborghini's CEO says fully electric supercars are not something that is selling so far. Ford's CEO Jim Farley says he'll fight to keep Ford V8 engines going. Reuters reports that Emirati bank FAB in advanced talks to buy Turkey's Yapı Kredi. In the UK, first trader to be jailed for rate rigging will go to the Supreme Court to clear his name. In India, Adani suspected of fraud by selling low-grade coal as high-value fuel.
CBS claims First Amendment allows it to select writers best suited for its programs in discrimination lawsuit response. Afghan mine clearer killed by Taliban after it sees him in Emmy-winning film. Western fighters in Ukraine are getting killed because they assumed the war would be easy, says a U.S. veteran who fought there.
Commencement walkout after barring 13 from graduating.
European Investment Bank backs first Polish satellite program with loan to Bank Gospodarstwa Krajowego. Air taxi maker Lilium looks to France, Germany for lifeline. 6 months ago, it has been announced that Lufthansa in electric air taxi deal with Germany's Lilium. SpaceX weighs plan to sell shares at $200 billion valuation.
Norway to block entry for most Russian tourists. Moscow says it will respond. Russia says it will strike British targets if UK weapons are used to hit its territory, and UK supply drones have destroyed over $1.2 billion of Russian military gear in Ukraine, says UK official. NYT reported that Blinken favors lifting ban on Ukrainian strikes inside Russia with US arms.
It had been commented as, some Americans live in a parallel economy where everything is terrible. U.S. mortgage rates fall below 7% for first time since early April. In Japan, Advisory Council recommends raising definition of elderly by 5 years to achieve well-being.
Kia EV3 revealed, compact electric SUV has more than 370 miles of range. Jeep teases all-electric Wagoneer S, promises 480 kilometers range. Reportedly, more than 7,500 people applied to buy the $325,000 Ford Mustang GTD. Turkish central bank keeps key interest rate steady at 50%. Macron says Europe needs a bolder monetary policy. Canada to spend more on debt after rate forecasts edge higher. Justice Department and Federal Trade Commission seek information on serial acquisitions, roll-up strategies across U.S. economy. DuPont plans three-way split in return to CEO Breen's playbook. Atari buys Intellivision brand, ending longest-running console war in history.
In the U.S., Justice Department sues Live Nation Ticketmaster for monopolizing markets across the live concert industry. 14 years ago, Live Nation and Ticketmaster merged, agreed to U.S. terms. EU Commission fines Oreo maker Mondelez €337.5 million for blocking cross-border sales. United States reaches over $310 million settlement with Norfolk Southern to address harms caused by East Palestine train derailment. On Friday, February 3, 2023, a Norfolk Southern train had 53 cars derail in East Palestine, Ohio.
Investor who lost $740,000 to Ontario's crypto king among 5 men charged with kidnapping him. Incognito market owner arrested after FBI tracked crypto transactions. Study finds discrete shipping used to sell e-cigarettes to minors.
Thousands of Israelis demand return of hostages after bodies recovered. IDF denies Hamas' claim that terror group has captured soldiers during Gaza fighting. Indonesia mulls ban on investigative journalism, LGBT content.
Uvalde families sue makers of AR-15, Call of Duty, Meta over mass shooting. Families of Marines who died in an Osprey crash sue Bell Textron, Boeing and Rolls-Royce, makers of the aircraft. UK scientists plan seabed explosions to solve mystery of missing flight MH370.
Upstart Chinese plane maker Comac is in talks with Saudi Arabia as it seeks to disrupt the Boeing and Airbus duopoly. In Mexico, Pemex production falls to its lowest level in 45 years, 1.4 million barrels of crude oil per day in April. UAW seeks a new election at Mercedes-Benz plants in Alabama.
Biden administration finalizes rule allowing states to add dental insurance coverage to Affordable Care Act plans. New malaria vaccine delivered for the first time. 1 year ago, 18 million doses of first-ever malaria vaccine allocated to 12 African countries for 2023 to 2025 by Gavi, WHO and UNICEF. Harvard scientist behind Justin Bieber's NAD therapy resigns, leaving China's booming anti-aging industry in hot water. Japan weighs incentivizing childbirth by fully covering expenses. Trump says he's looking at policies that would restrict birth control access. NBC unveils gay animal kingdom documentary series Queer Planet for Pride that will showcase gay penguins, bisexual lions, and fish that change sex.
China clears Eli Lilly's weight loss drug, only for diabetes now. GSK experimental drug reduces severe asthma attacks in trial. Hong Kong Shaw Prize awarded to 2 scientists for study into treatment for blood disorder affecting 20 million.
Deadly opioids smuggled into UK in dog food, BBC learns, and synthetic opioids previously linked to UK deaths are being advertised for sale on social media. California advances bill for porn site age verification. Chinese-led team's ultrasound robot uses AI for thyroid scan results close to that of doctors.
Only 57% of Japanese feel happy, third lowest rate among 30 countries, claims a survey. In France, for unemployment insurance, Gabriel Attal confirms a reduction in the duration of compensation. Rishi Sunak pledges national service for all 18-year-olds in UK election gamble.
Glue pizza and eat rocks. Google AI search errors go viral, and Google scrambles to manually remove weird AI answers in search, as 17 cringe-worthy Google AI answers demonstrate the problem with training on the entire web. CEO of Google says it has no solution for its AI providing wildly incorrect information.
IT admins can now delay Windows 11 feature updates for businesses. Instant messaging platform ICQ is shut down on June 26 after nearly 28 years. Google faces doubts from U.S. judge that proposed App Store reforms would be harmful.
SolarMarker malware evolves to resist takedown attempts with multi-tiered infrastructure. CISA issues warning for new actively exploited next-gen healthcare Mirth Connect vulnerability. Linguistic lumberjack flaw in logging utility Fluent bit impacts cloud services. Veeam fixes auth bypass flaw in backup enterprise manager. GitHub warns of SAML auth bypass flaw in enterprise server. Researchers uncover flaws in Python package for AI models and PDF.js used by Firefox. Rockwell Automation encourages customers to assess and secure public internet-exposed assets. China rolls out large language model AI based on Xi Jinping thought. Justice Department and Stanford University to co-host workshop promoting competition in artificial intelligence. World's first major law for artificial intelligence gets final EU green light. OpenAI promised 20% of its computing power to combat the most dangerous kind of AI, but never delivered, sources say.
U.S. man used AI to generate 13,000 child sexual abuse pictures, FBI alleges, and CSAM generated by AI is still CSAM, DOJ says after rare arrest. Scarlett Johansson says OpenAI copied her voice for ChatGPT Sky. Sam Altman denies it. Nearly half of video game players say creation and self-expression are their main reasons for gaming, new study finds.
Windows 11 to deprecate NTLM, add AI-powered app controls and security defenses. UK watchdog looking into Microsoft AI taking screenshots. Google thinks the public sector can do better than Microsoft's security failures.
As iOS 17.5.1 fixes rare bug that caused deleted photos to return.
iPhone 16 Pro Max to feature new 48MP wide and ultra-wide cameras. ByteDance buys earbud maker Olidance for future hardware. New Beats pill appears in FCC database ahead of launch.
Alibaba sparks China AI price war with spate of steep discounts. Autodesk acquires Wonder Dynamics, offering cloud-based AI technology to empower more artists to create more 3D content across media and entertainment industries. Cooler Master introduces colored AI thermal paste. Creo Fuse 5 comes with nano diamond technology.
Journalism and ChatGPT. As OpenAI inks licensing deal with News Corp for ChatGPT training data. Bing's API was down, taking Microsoft Copilot, DuckDuckGo and ChatGPT's web search feature down too. Former Google CEO says the US and China's most powerful AI systems may one day be stored in military bases and surrounded by machine guns. Kenyan tech workers urge Biden to end modern-day slavery ahead of state visit. Biden moves to get CHIPS Act funding for Kenya. Leaked OpenAI documents reveal aggressive tactics toward former employees.
X confirms plan to make likes private, remove likes tab from profiles. Study suggests YouTubers cheer people up more than casual friends.
Microsoft announces that support for Windows 10 will end in October 2025. Microsoft phases out VB Script for JavaScript and PowerShell. Apple challenges €1.84 billion EU fine over App Store restrictions. iFixit ends repair partnership with Samsung over foot dragging, and reportedly Samsung requires independent repair shops to share customer data. Snitch on people who use aftermarket parts. Leaked contract shows.
Experts find flaw in Replicate AI service, exposing customers' models and data. Conservative cell carrier, Patriot Mobile, hit by data breach. Harvard professor says he gets thank you notes from prisoners, some of which are secretly using smartphones to take his free computer science class. South Korea launches space agency to compete in global space race. Image from German music video falsely shared as proof of fake moon landing. And a few muddled words during China's Chang'e 6 launch set off a flurry of faked moon landing rumors. NASA finds more issues with Boeing's Starliner, but crew launch set for June 1st. Trump campaign sends cease and desist letter to block release of biopic The Apprentice. Nicki Minaj briefly arrested. Fined at Amsterdam airport after Dutch police say soft drugs found in luggage. Einstein visited Brazil against his will and called scientist a monkey. Diaries show. Patricia Richardson says ABC chose to end Home Improvement after equal pay proposal. Ghost in the Shell gets new TV anime series in 2026 by Science Saru. George Lucas receives honorary Palme d'Or from Francis Ford Coppola at Cannes Film Festival. Erotic dancer comedy drama Honora wins Palme d'Or at Cannes. Lightning strikes during Metallica concert in Munich.
From Ryan Gosling to Emma Stone, at least 17 Saturday Night Live hosts submit for Guest Acting Emmy for Season 49. Screening of graphic October 7th Hamas attack movie cancelled in Cannes amid serious security risk. Aaron Eckhart to star as U.S. President in action pic, Raider, from Con Air, director Simon West.
IGN Entertainment acquires Eurogamer, GI, VG247, Rock Paper Shotgun, and more. Graceland is headed for foreclosure as Elvis Presley's granddaughter fights sale and alleges fraud. Engineers make Dune stillsuit that turns pee, sweat into drinkable water. Diddy's music streams plunge following graphic hotel footage of him assaulting Cassie, and Sean Diddy Combs allegedly paid $50,000 to obtain hotel security footage of Cassie assault, claimed in the lawsuit. Also, Peloton removes Diddy content from its platforms. 50 Cent's P. Diddy documentary bought by Netflix after massive bidding war.
South Korean monk DJ enrages Malaysian Buddhist community for leading nightclub revelers in prayer dance. Pope Francis clears sainthood for Italian millennial known as God's influencer. In India, PM Modi invites ridicule for saying he is not biological, but sent by God.
Steven Spielberg sets new film for summer 2026, reunites with Jurassic Park and War of the Worlds screenwriter. PlayStation executive predicts focus will shift from graphics to immersive narratives. Lisa Koshy, Cody Rhodes, CCH Pounder and Busta Rhymes round out cast of Naked Gun reboot.
Jeremy Renner says he's accepted that he'll be in recovery for the rest of my life. Chris Hemsworth receives star on Hollywood Walk of Fame, says wife Elsa Pataky, put aside her own dreams to support mine. Forever in your debt. You can never break the casino. NBA legend Charles Barkley reflects on losing $25 million in Las Vegas. Copper-coated steel promises 90% bacterial elimination from surfaces. Study finds widespread cell cannibalism and related phenomena across Tree of Life.
New discoveries about the nature of light could improve methods for heating fusion plasma. Scientists discover how to grow diamonds from scratch in 15 minutes. Euclid Space Telescope reveals more than 300,000 new objects in first 24 hours of observations. Crows can deliberately plan how many calls to make. Study shows researchers reveal dynamic structure of FLVCR proteins and their function in nutrient transport. Japan may allow hunters to fire on bears in residential, commercial areas. Scientists discover CO2 and CO ices in outskirts of solar system. Magnetic anomaly in Brazil continues to grow, says U.S. government report. 4 years ago, NASA researchers tracked slowly splitting dent in Earth's magnetic field. White sharks lurking in Massachusetts waters. New England Aquarium warns ahead of Memorial Day weekend. Bitcoin price to soar as Japan's economy worsens, as commented by BitMEX's Arthur Hayes. Kronos research hacker moves $3.7 million to Tornado Cash after Ethereum price surge. UK High Court judge says Craig Wright lied extensively and repeatedly in COPA lawsuit over Satoshi Bitcoin copyright claims. Ethereum beats MasterCard by market cap, ahead of ETH spot ETF's approval by the SEC. CBOE publishes amended spot Ether ETF filings as industry renews approval hopes. Ethereum-based Twitter rival Farcaster raises $150 million.
In New York amidst Ripple's clash with SEC. In the U.S., crypto engagement dropped to 7% among U.S. adults in 2023, Federal Reserve fines. Bankman-Fried's $30 million Bahamas penthouse is hitting the market. In the U.S., House of Representatives passed Emmer's bill that would prohibit the Federal Reserve from issuing a surveillance-style central bank digital currency, CBDC, that could give the federal government the ability to monitor and control individual American spending habits. Hong Kong sees third major cryptocurrency exchange withdraw license application as Gate.io unit drops out. In the U.S., SEC approves rule change to allow creation of Ether ETFs as SEC approves Ethereum ETFs, aligning ETH closer to commodity and industry win.
Trump posts our country must be the leader in the crypto field prior to speech before libertarians, and Trump pledges to commute sentence of Silk Road founder Ross Ulbricht if elected. Blackstone's chief, a GOP megadonor, says he will again back Trump. OKX bows out of Hong Kong, withdraws VASP license bid.
Mad Money's Jim Cramer endorses ETH as great store of value amid U.S. dollar concerns. Spot Ethereum ETFs, if approved, will likely begin trading in July or August, as per Galaxy Digital report. 52% of top U.S. hedge funds own Bitcoin ETFs. Putin meets military plant chiefs, asks to speed up war economy. Polish FM says US will strike Russian troops in Ukraine if Russia uses nuclear weapons. President of Ukraine urged Biden and EU to sanction Russia before invasion. They refused.
International Criminal Court seeks arrest warrants for Netanyahu and Hamas leaders. Bernie Sanders breaks from Biden and Blinken to support ICC's arrest warrant request, where Biden slams ICC arrest warrant request for Netanyahu as outrageous, and Blinken says he'll work with U.S. Congress on potential ICC sanctions. France backs ICC after it seeks arrest warrants for Israel's Netanyahu, Hamas leaders, and Amal Clooney is one of the legal experts who recommended war crimes charges in Israel and Hamas war.
2 more Russian officials arrested in widening military corruption probe, and BBC reports that Rosenberg comments, Russian President Putin's military purge echoes Prigozhin's call to act. Hong Kong minister demands UK give details on death of Matthew Trickett, accused of spying for Citi. Malaysia's 1MDB sues PetroSaudi executive, seeking $1.83 billion after it says sham venture made it believe a Saudi king-owned oil company. Argentina rejects International Criminal Court's arrest warrant for Netanyahu. With ICC decision, Germany says it will arrest Netanyahu if PM visits country. We will comply with the law. Reportedly, Israeli volunteers falsified accusation against Hamas for sexual assault, agency says. Recently in Israel, hostage families release clip of 5 female troops' abduction to push for their freedom. UN to establish Srebrenica Genocide Memorial Day despite Serbian opposition. Malaysia's Anwar under pressure to ditch airport deal with BlackRock entity over Israel arms links. In New Caledonia riots, France's Emmanuel Macron delays voting reform, TikTok ban stays.
EU seeks to stop Russia's imports of Western luxury cars via Belarus. Interpol detects 200 stolen vehicles from Canada each week around the world since the RCMP successfully integrated the CPIC stolen vehicle information with Interpol's stolen motor vehicle database in February 2024. Elon Musk now says he opposes U.S. tariffs on Chinese EVs, and Tesla drops delivery goal of 20 million vehicles a year from latest report.